Coach, are you a little more optimistic with Kyle? I saw you have a regular jersey on and a regular line today.
Yeah, he won't be tonight. He's good. He's been cleared. I'm comfortable with it. I had more information than when I spoke to you yesterday, and evident by the way he competes in practice, he's ready to go.
Don, you guys have the youngest roster in the league officially. Everybody talks about the challenges when it comes to being young, but what are the benefits to having a team as young as this one?
Well, young and talented and competitive are the other things that are really, really important. Just young is not good enough. But talent, we know we have young talent, and we know we have young players that compete. Just think of Dylan Cousins and you know that lots of young guys with that real feisty competitive attitude. So the three elements together I'm really excited about. What that means is we'll develop more game by game. We'll take more from a game. We can recover faster game to game. But you know what you envision and what you know as a coach is you do have the opportunity to get better faster than many other teams in the league. I know we have the personal makeup for that. I'm excited about that. I spoke on the radio this morning, and there's a lot of excitement for the season, but the realization is we're actually younger than we were last year, which is less experience, and it's going to take us a little bit to gain that experience. But I'm happy with the makeup of our roster. Yes.
Jack and JJ, they've been dominant AHL players. They're highly skilled. We've seen a lot of that skill. But in your own words, why did they make the team? I guess.
Well, we know their potential still. You know, we know they're a talent, and like I said, they compete. They're dedicated to improvement. If they weren't, they wouldn't be here because they need to improve. They need to get better. They need to acclimate to size, strength, speed of NHL players. They're behind right now, and it's going to take them a bit. But we know their talent base and the things I mentioned, the characteristics, intelligence of them, they will acclimate. We just need to get them in there. You know, you know, it's almost like you can't learn to swim without getting wet, right? So they need to jump in the pool and swim, and we're going to provide them that opportunity. We feel we have surrounded them with great support by the players that return, and so instead of bringing in the veteran guy to fill those slots, we want to bring in the young guy to fill those slots, knowing we have Dahlin is way more experienced now than he was a couple of years ago. Thompson and Middlestead are, so they can actually be the guys to mentor. And Cousins, I've talked to Cousins quite a bit about mentoring young guys, and the first couple guys he'll be able to do that with is Peterka and Quinn.
Speaking of Cousins on his power play, that was an extremely powerful unit maybe the last month of the season. They scored a lot, they did very well, and I saw Owen now is with that group. That's, again, a younger kid who's going to be on a very successful power play unit like that. Where have you gained this trust so quickly with Owen that you're fine? You're comfortable with, hey, he can quarterback that unit? Great question.
And it's more than just comfortable with Owen. It's comfortable with the other four guys and how they'll handle Owen. Because, there's a lot of pride in the NHL, and when a young guy makes a mistake, it might cost them an opportunity as a player. It might cost them power play time. And I know they're not going to be jumping down Owen's throat when a mistake is made. They'll be supporting him, and that's significant. So it's not only my faith or confidence in Owen, it's the other four guys that are with him to, again, mentor and bring Owen along where needed. And there's plenty of places and areas that Owen doesn't need that, but where he does, I know they'll support him well.
Does it say something that JJ's practicing penalty kill? He's got a big smile on his face. He's breaking out the play, fist bumping guys. Does that say something about him?
It says a lot about his personality. He is a fun-loving personality. Guys enjoy being around him. He feeds off of that. And by the way, he's pretty talented too. So yeah, it's good. It's with the two units we had out there today, Quinn and Peterka were not on either. I mean, they're going to be ready for when there's moments that they can play on either, but there's so much other areas they need to focus on to acclimate to the NHL that I don't want to put more on their plate than normal. And the other guys deserve the spots they're in. So,
what are you expecting or looking forward to from the fans and the building atmosphere Thursday and going forward in the season?
Well, anytime you put people in that building, you know they're passionate about hockey, and we haven't had fans in the building for the last, obviously, the summer break. So I know our guys are excited to connect back to our crowds, to our fans, and you can see it, feel it on the bench. They feed off the energy that's in that building, knowing that people that come to the rink are passionate about hockey with a pretty good knowledge of hockey and passionate about the Sabres. So it's you definitely feel it when it's game time.
Having been on,
I'd say for Jack and JJ, the experiences they had, kind of getting thrown into the water in Rochester, did that make it more comfortable for you to be now for them?
Yeah, it does. I was able to gain a lot more familiarity and a better vision for maybe their path once they come in the league by virtue of watching them play last year in person and then watching as much as I could on video. And so you need to have a vision for your guy or for your guys and players individually. It helps you so much as a coach. So I really try to do that with each of our players. Those are guys that, with Rochester so close, I was able to get there, and I know what these kids, their potential is, and I'm excited to work with them to try to chip away at that every day.
having been around Ilya for a few weeks now, just what have you learned just about? Seems like there's on ice Ilya, and there's stuff different than here off the ice. What have you learned about just?
Yeah, he is a gamer in the sense he competes to win. He really cares about his performance for the team. He's a very team mindset guy. Takes his job very seriously, and my personal feeling is sometimes too serious, where he deserves a bit more calm in his game, and he'll play tight, but it matters so much to him to do the right thing. And then obviously the physicality, the energy he brings, and the personality he brings are all things that we had heard about, we'd watched, and we certainly like now that we see him here.
I know in past seasons you've had experienced players like him come to the lineup, and they're used to that fear in their game where if I make a mistake. So when it comes to a guy like that coming in, how do you kind of drill that out of him so he can play more free?
You don't have to. It's a personality trait. He's always accepted critique and wants critique. He wants feedback, whether it's critique or not. He wants feedback, and he sees that as a positive. Some players, when you approach them, they're cringing already because feedback to them is a threat, potentially. And so it's a complete personality trait, player to player. So by no means did we have all our players were that way last year. By no means. So let's not even think about that. But Ilya is who we're talking about this year. He doesn't have any of that. It's he wants to go watch film with me right now. I mentioned a couple things I saw last night watching games, and he's like, right away, can we watch after practice? So we'll go do that.
Don, Henry, this is the third year I've gotten a chance to see him get through a training camp. And I've watched him for 2 years, and it seems like he starts off kind of slow, has his troubles, and he gets better and better and better as the year goes on.
Yeah.
So maybe this year, how can you maybe help him to not have that slow
Speed
start?
that, shorten that window of acclimation, I guess. That's a great question, Paul. I mean, you have to support him through it, re-encourage him. Yokoharu is extremely hard on himself. He's his own worst enemy and critic, and that clutters the ability to just play free and read and react. As we all know, as things happen so damn fast, you need to get in the moment. And when you don't, some players, when they don't feel like they're in full season game shape, or they have they start pressing and overthinking, and that can happen to Yoki. I've watched him for 4 years now, been with him for a couple teams, and you just got to support him through that, knowing he's going to get through it. And he's getting through those things faster now as he gets comfortable with his teammates, his team, and in his career, and his skill set within the NHL. Those are shortened, and everybody has their unfortunate moments, but I think with him, they were prolonged, and without question, he's learning to shorten them, and he is a big part of what we do.
We've got a couple days away. I know out there the fans are excited about getting hockey going and getting over there. And, what's the temperature here? Where's your stance and the excitement of the season?
I'm really, if you can't tell, I'm really excited about the season. Just to get to work, through training camp, you get these guys in condition to play a 60-minute game against another NHL team. But the real work now is what we will be able to identify through game 1, game 2, and on through the 82 games. And that's getting to work. The context of what we need to, turn our attention to and focus on to improve being a young team, we know there's going to be plenty of areas to target that we will be able to improve. Which areas those are going to only fall within the context of our competitors. And so to get that process started, knowing you have an extremely capable team that's fully engaged in that process, it's really exciting as a coach.
Talk about your division. You don't know maybe against a division opponent, but that division's hard. It's a tough division, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in that division, just a few words or less here, just break that division down.
It's a great division, and I wouldn't want to be in any other division because the harder teams can come at us, the better I believe our guys. It's going to make our guys. And we saw that even during the COVID year, we played back-to-backs. We were able to, as coaches, give some of our players that were with us then, a lot of our players, here's the change you can make going into game 2 in this 2-game set. And they did it. And that was a real indication for us as coaches. These are the type of players that can recalibrate and, change or zone in, home in on an objective and get it done the next night in an NHL game. So there were some impressive traits then. But that's what I love about coaching, and what I love about our group is they're capable of doing that. We saw last year in Edmonton, we had a miserable night, and the next night we go in Calgary with no rest and win a 1-0 game in overtime. That shows you a lot about not only character but ability to recalibrate.
And the last thing I have for you is you finished strong last year. Carrying that over this year, when you talk about culture, and it seems like this team talk about character and culture. It seems like you see with the Bills kind of come together. It seems like it's come together here. Do you feel that, and is something you carry over from a great ending last year and come out strong?
Yeah, well, a couple things on that. The ending last year it's not too great to me, honestly, but it was good. And strong in culture, we need to get stronger, and we need to focus on that and grow and get bigger. So, winning some games late last year, yeah, it's reassuring, but it's not what we want. Our appetite is much bigger than that. So it just drives, I think, our group for more, and it also gives them the confidence that when you commit, we are capable, and we just need to keep doing that. So that is exciting when you love the game like these guys do.
You're the man.
I'm actually Coach Louis Del Rey. I'm actually the new sports anchor with News 4.
Oh, all right.
Nice
Well,
to meet you. Actually, to piggyback off of that, for this young team, is it beneficial for them right out the gate to play the Senators, Panthers, teams in the division? Do you see that as important and beneficial, as you said, coming off that ending last year?
It's interesting because every team in this league you have to respect. And so to me, they're all the same in the regard of you better be ready to play them, or you're going to learn some lessons. And we know we need to learn some lessons. Let's face it. We just need to go out, play with passion, compete like hell, set in front of our players, target areas that we can. This is a strategy within this game against this team. Ottawa is much different than Florida, so you already have two different, pregame meetings and pregame strategies. I do like that, and we're going to see these teams down the road, so to play them early in a measuring stick maybe later for progress is also good as well. It's kind of how I process it, but any team would be welcome right now. Just to get it started is what we need.
Thank you.
Yeah.